Yeah, I'm still trying to figure the intro thing out. So we're just going to get right into it. Today we'll be talking about Portal and a new video series I'll be calling Worth the Hype, where I will look at old games or indie games that have a really strong or unique following, and I will be including everything but the very end of the game or any major twists. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, and I want the game to be looked at with a fresh pair of eyes. So the basics. The game came out in 2007 and is made by Valve, which are the creators of the Half-Life series and the Counter-Strike games. They make plenty of other games such as Dota 2 and Team Fortress 2, but the notable ones around that time period were Half-Life and Counter-Strike. You can currently pick the game up for $9.99, which I feel like is a pretty good price. However, its historical low has been 99 cents. So, what is Portal? Portal is a puzzle game set in Aperture Laboratories, and you, as the test subject, are given a portal gun which allows you to travel from one space to another space via a hole that you create in a wall. The goal, simply, is to complete the test. The player is not given any information on how they got there or why they are there. However, all you know is that you must complete the tests. That is all you're faced with. The pros. The first thing I notice about this game is the great sci-fi aesthetic that it creates. Instantaneously, as soon as you're in the menu screen, you're seeing where you're going to be beginning. And then as soon as you hit play, you're there. You are inside of this test area. You see these windows that are oddly obscured so you can't make out any details beyond them, but you see chairs, as if someone's been watching you, or should be watching you. Another great thing the game does is it doesn't overcomplicate puzzle mechanics. Something that I feel like a lot of games do is they'll give you a ton of different tools right at the very beginning and expect you to understand them over the course of the game. However, Portal doesn't do this. It doesn't even give you the portal gun until a few levels in, and then it only gives you half of it to begin with. It allows the player to understand the way portals work and why they work the way they do. It still follows basic physics, where fast thing goes into the hole, fast thing comes out of the hole, as clearly is explained in the game. It allows the player to mess around and tool around with these different mechanics. Some notable cons in the game: the puzzles don't progressively get more difficult. This creates stale gameplay for later on. There are 19 total test chambers, and though the first 5 or 6 are notably difficult, and the game does pose different hazards such as turrets and water that you can't fall into, there are no true hazards that make the game feel ultimately dangerous or detrimental to failure. The total gameplay time that took me is about 2.5 hours, and 30 minutes of those 2.5 hours were the ending of the game. The game at some point becomes very monotonous with the not so difficult puzzles and the time-consuming tasks of moving blocks from one place to the other. So after looking at these pros and cons, I do want to look at some forgiving qualities about the game considering its age and its price point. The game does include advanced test chambers, which take a look at the same levels that you've already completed and adds new hazards such as removing most of the floor or removing certain walls so you can't create portals on them. These advanced test chambers, in my opinion, were some of the most fun parts of the game, and truth be told, could have been included in the base game as it was, considering the difficulty does peter off later down the line. Considering its age, the game still looks actually really good. It was nice to see a game that is made in 2007 to still have nice quality graphics to it. Though there are not a lot of particles, but the textures look clean and refined, it still created a enjoyable experience and wasn't harsh to look at by any means at all. Its historical lowest price is 99 cents. I think a game of this caliber with only 2.5 hours of gameplay definitely warrants picking it up for 99 cents, even if you don't agree with any of my opinions. It's worth just having your library for that one off chance that you want to spend 2.5 hours to waste away at something. So, considering the $10 price point, the 2.5 hours of gameplay, and the pros and the cons, and the forgiving qualities as weighed before, I would currently say this game is not worth the hype. Rather, I would encourage people that are looking to pick up a puzzle game such as Portal. I would encourage Portal 2, which is the same exact price at $10 and has many more hours of gameplay and includes multiplayer for local co-op or online co-op. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you on the next one.